Hey mama, if you're listening to this, you might be carrying a secret that feels too heavy to speak out loud. You look like you got it all together, you serve at church, maybe you even lead a Bible study. You smile when you drop off the kids, but no one sees the other side of you, the one that comes out behind closed doors. At home, you are a completely different person. You yell, you explode, you scream at your kids, sometimes in their face. You tell them to shut up. You grab them too harshly. You throw things across the room. You smack them in anger, twist their ears, spank them in rage, and immediately after, you are hit with a tidal wave of shame. You cry alone in your room and you whisper, "God, what is wrong with me?" You feel scared and disgusted by your own reactions. You're terrified that someone might find out. You wonder if your kids would be better off without you. You feel unworthy, broken, and too far gone to be redeemed. You try to fix this on your own. You listen to podcasts, parenting books, download freebies, but nothing changes. You keep falling back into the same patterns, and it feels like you are stuck in a cycle that you can't break. You don't trust yourself anymore, and if you're honest, you are afraid of who you've become. But here's the truth, Mama. You are not beyond hope. You're not alone, and with God's help and the right support, you can change. I'm Elizabeth, a mom of 4 and an anger management coach for Christian moms. And inside my Calm Christian Mom coaching program, I guide women just like you through a powerful transformation. This isn't shallow behavior management. We go deep. We address your triggers, your stress, your mindset, your nervous system, and the spiritual root behind your patterns. We invite God into every layer and walk hand in hand towards healing. In just 12 weeks, you can become a completely different mom, unrecognizable. One who leads with patience, not panic. One whose children feel emotionally safe around her. One who cultivates peace. This summer, I'm offering a Calm Mama strategy session, a powerful 15-minute one-on-one coaching session designed to help you uncover the root of your anger and receive spiritual, emotional, and practical support. It's your chance to experience what coaching is like with me before diving deeper into ongoing support. If we both feel like the full program is the next right step, we can talk about what that looks like for you. You don't have to keep living like this. Your family is worth healing, and so are you. Use the link in the show notes to book the Calm Mama strategy session.
Hey friend, I hope you had a wonderful Easter. This episode is my behind the scenes of the previous month. The month of March of 2024, I bring you back behind the scenes into my day-to-day life, things that have been going on with our family, what I do outside of coaching and work, and I just want to say welcome. Thank you for listening to these episodes. I am producing them and releasing them because you tend to like them. You tend to like to listen to behind the scenes of Into My Life. So this is what I'm going to share this month. I want to tell you that in April, I am turning 35. And can I ask you to give me a birthday present? I know, crazy. Can I ask for 1 minute of your time? If you are listening on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, which most of you are actually, about 70% of the listeners are listening through Apple Podcasts, would you please scroll down and leave me a 5-star rating and a review if you have been blessed by my podcast in any way, shape, or form? This is the best way that you can thank me for all the hard work that I put into this podcast. I truly mean it. The reason I ask you to leave a review is because that is how other moms can find this podcast. And it's social proof for them to be able to take a look and at the reviews and say, oh, well, maybe this podcast has something good to offer. And so I would greatly appreciate it just think of it as a small birthday gift for me. It will take you less than a minute. Just scroll down when you click my podcast about halfway through, and it's going to give you a 5-star rating where you can leave, and then you can click the button, leave a review. And as a thank you for that, if you take the screenshot of your review and email it to me, hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com, I will give you a coupon code for you to get my mini course for free, 10 times your emotional capacity levels as a mom. If you feel like you're running on empty, if you feel like you're constantly reacting with your kids and your emotional capacity tank is really low, this mini course is for you, and you can get access to it completely for free if you leave me a review and take a screenshot of it and email it to me, or you can just purchase the mini course if you scroll down in the show notes, and there's a link for you to do that. My friend, again, thank you so much. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Time after time, I feel truly honored that you would dedicate your time to my show. There are so many other podcasts to listen to. Like for real, so many countless YouTube pages and Instagram people that you could follow or social media handles, and you choose to listen to me week after week. If you have something to say, if you have a question to ask, or if you have a comment or anything, did you know that you can contact me through a voice message? So if you scroll down in the show notes, there's a section over there to leave a voice note, or you can fill in a Google form for some questions that you want me to answer on the show. And if you just leave me a voice message, it goes to my email, I get to listen to it, and then I will respond with a voice message back. So that is a wonderful way for you to connect with me. Every time I get a voice message from Mom, I feel so excited. I love listening to them, and I always respond to you. So, my friend, okay, let's talk about what's going on in my life behind the scenes. So we live in Florida. If you don't know, we live in North Florida, and Florida is known for their alligators, right? In our neighborhood, there is a pond, or just like kind of a man-made pond in between some of the houses and on the street that we live in. Well, last year, and the year that we moved, there was no alligator in there. And our landlord said that there was, but we've never seen one. Last summer, never saw an alligator. Well, this year, at the end of February, an alligator appeared at the pond. And he's on the other side of the pond, so he doesn't come close to us. But we just, I'm a little bit hesitant. He's not humongous or anything, but maybe like 5 feet long. I mean, that's a pretty big alligator. I'm 5 feet tall. And so in the beginning of the month, my boys, we have a dog, little dog named Fluffy. He's a little Pomeranian, and he's a little wild, and we still don't have him trained outside. He listens to us in the house, but as soon as the front door opens and he gets a crack to go outside, somebody forgets to close the door all the way, he is bolting outside, and he just like runs away. And then we have all the kids chasing him, trying to catch him. Anyways, he ran away. And the boys went to chase him, and they got to the neighbor's house where we bought the puppy, which is right next to the pond. And they ended up catching the dog. And then they come home, 2 of my boys, and they say, "Mom, there's a dead dog in the pond." I'm like, "No way." They're like, "No, for real." I'm like, "Maybe it's a toy." They're like, "No, there's an actual dead dog in the pond." Yeah. I went to look. It's a small sized dog, but there was a dead dog floating in the pond, which was like so sad. And I messaged all the neighbors that I know that have small dogs, the neighbors that live right next to it. That's where we bought the dog. It wasn't any of their dogs because it was black and white, and they don't have a black and white dog. But I messaged everybody I knew in our neighborhood had small dogs, and it's none of their dogs. So I don't know whose dog it was. That was so sad. But I'm assuming the alligator killed it. Anyways, we have called for them to remove the alligator from our pond. They've come. They tried to catch him. They weren't able to because he went into the water. Supposedly, they're supposed to do it this week. So hopefully they get rid of the alligator. He hasn't hurt any of the people, but I just don't feel comfortable with that thing in my neighborhood. I just don't. So that is one of the things. We live in Florida. Alligators are around. There's an alligator in our neighborhood. I think there's two in that pond, a bigger one and a smaller one. I hope they get them both. Okay. So March was a month for us of a lot of sickness. Oh my goodness. I felt like we were sick the whole month. I'm not even kidding. One of my kids missed a week and a half of school, and then spring break hit and he was home. There was just coughing and runny noses and stuffy noses and sore throats. And it was just like one person after another constantly. I felt like the whole month. And even with all the natural remedies, nothing was working anymore. I felt like the sickness that we had was nasty and gross, that my husband went and got Dayquil and NyQuil just so he could function. It was gross. I don't recommend it. Don't get sick. And it's so funny how when kid's sick or the husband is sick, they can just take a break from all the regular household stuff. And the kids stay home. And my husband, when he is sick, and he typically is one of those people, unless he cannot get out of bed, he will take some medicine and he'll power through and he'll go to work and do what needs to be done. So he's a salesman. He can work from home. But either way, like he had to do some physical labor that week. And so he just powered through. And I am one of those people that when I feel sick, I will cancel things on my schedule if possible. And I will take some time to rest because I know that if I keep pushing myself through, then it lingers longer and it takes longer for my body to get over it. There's this saying, if you don't pick a time to rest, your body is going to pick it for you and it will be at a very inconvenient time. And so I choose to take a break when I feel sick. I ask myself, how can I make things easier for myself? Did my kids watch more screens? Yes, they did. Did we take some more takeout and pick up some pizza and just make really simple meals? And my older kids, I just asked them to make themselves sandwiches or an omelet or something really easy. I did because I needed to make things lighter so then I could go to bed a little bit earlier so I didn't have so much to do. The house wasn't as picked up and cleaned up, and it was intentional because I am choosing to take time for myself to rest, to make things lighter, so then I feel better quicker, and then I can get back to normal quicker because I know if I keep powering through, it just lingers around longer. So one of the things that I did this month was go through sentimental items and declutter them. I am in an accountability club by Lisa Lazat. She is a friend of mine. She's been on the show before. She teaches decluttering and systems and organizing, and she has an accountability club that I am part of. And it's only $20 a month, for real. If you feel overwhelmed by clutter and you're drowning in clutter and you know you need to do something about it, my friend, I will link in the show notes for you to sign up to the accountability club. I would love to see you there. I show up to all the coaching calls and I'm active in the platform where we do the decluttering. I am in a stage in my life where this year I want to get things organized behind the scenes in my business, in my life, to simplify, to declutter, to make things run more smoothly. And I know that for me, clutter does overwhelm me. So in February, when I signed up, what we did, we went through paperwork in our house. If you have stacks of papers that are just sitting around and you can't get to them and everything is crazy and disorganized, that's what we did. We created systems and files and we organized some of our taxes, which felt so good when I organized that. We just did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. We created an emergency folder with all the emergency paperwork and passwords and access to all the things. So it feels like I'm getting my life a little bit more together when I'm doing this behind the scenes, even though, like, practically speaking, it's not super visually, like, you see the difference in my house. Yeah, you see a little bit less clutter, but just knowing that things are organized behind the scenes just makes me feel like I have my life a little bit more put together. And April, we're going to be doing decluttering our garages and sheds, which I'm excited about. Our garage does need to be decluttered. It's mostly just a storage unit and with like bicycles and all the kids' stuff. So it's kind of my territory. Mostly have the kids organize it. It's not really organized, so we need to get to that this month. But in March, what we did, we went through sentimental items, which was so neat because I have a box that I have for each of my kids. It's a small box with some of their newborn clothes, their one newborn outfit, and just some cute either cards or paperwork and some things that have to do with them personally, like a little bit of their hair in a little Ziploc bag, their first haircut, just their first tooth, just things like that. And each kid has a sentimental box. I have a sentimental box. My husband has a box with things that are important to him. And then I have a box called the love box. And in that box is all the letters and notes that we wrote to each other, my husband and I, when we started our relationship, when we got engaged, even when we were married, just love notes to each other. And I went and I read through them all. And honestly, it was so, so sweet. And if you have something like that and you've ever maybe are in a rough time in your marriage, which we all have our ups and downs, if you kind of want to go back to those positive memories of what you found so positive in your spouse when you were engaged or when you were dating, those love letters will totally bring you back, like 100%. It brings you back to the stage in your life where you were in love and that person could not do any wrong, where you literally just noticed all the positive things of them, where you felt like you just cannot get enough of them. Like it just brings you back to that time in your life. And so I just want to say, if you have a box or a place with all those memories, and I kept journals through that time, and I'm still rereading those journals, and it was just so cool because I got to read some of it to my kids and just even bringing myself back to those memories. I like to do that. My husband and I will have a 15-year anniversary this spring. And so it was really nice for me to just go back and reread. Some of it was bittersweet because knowing through some of the hard things that we went through and then now reading those notes, when you get married, you you think that your marriage is going to be perfect. Your love is always going to be there. It's going to come easily. I remember, I've shared this here before. I remember our pastor on our ceremony, he said that there will be times where you guys won't get along and you will probably not even like each other and you'll have a really hard time being around each other. And I thought, he has no idea what he's talking about. We have real love going on here. Like, we really love each other. I can't get enough of him. And that's how I felt when we were getting married. And then, of course, there came hard times and hard seasons where you love that person, but you just don't like them. And so it was really, I don't know, I liked reading the notes and my journals. It just brought really good memories back. And as I was reading them, it just made me want to come up to my husband and just hug him and kiss him and just see the good things in him that I used to notice so easily when we first started our relationship. And now it takes a lot of intentionality because our brain is 9 times negative bias. And so we want to notice the negative things a lot more than the positive. So we have to be really intentional to focus on the positive. The other thing that happened in March, our dog got neutered. So then he had to wear one of those cones for like 2 weeks straight, which was fine. It was just funny to watch him. Poor thing. My kids had spring break. I decided to do no screen week with my kids for that break. I've done that in the summertime in June. Last year when they just got off of school, the first week of summer, we did no screen break. They struggled a little bit the first couple of days and then they found things to do. And that's what I decided to do, that there will be no screens on break. And my kids complained a little bit, but it took them a couple days to find more creative things to do, but then they just spend a lot of time outside. We live in Florida. It was in the 60s and 70s, so it was nice. they got to do some yard work for the neighbors. And then my 2 older boys saved up their money and they bought electric motorcycles that they got to ride around the neighborhood. And so that kept them plenty busy. I took them to a park one day and just did stuff with kids around the house. We didn't do anything crazy. One of our neighbors has a pool that my kids go to, and so I took them to the pool one time. So just stayed at home, nothing insane, nothing crazy, and I was just enjoying taking things slow. I like staying home in the mornings and not rushing out the door. I like to make breakfast and just take things slow, and I really, really enjoyed that. And so it helped, honestly, it helped that I was in a good time of the month emotionally with my cycle, that I was able to do that with the kids. I had more capacity, because if it's the week before my cycle, I'll be honest, my capacity levels do go down and I wouldn't be able to probably do screen-free week. I think I would have a harder time handling the whining and the adjustment period. So it just helped that I was in a good place on my cycle, that my kids, I had more capacity for them. So last week, I ordered some items, clothing items from Amazon. I felt like I needed a few new items for the summertime, and it was terrible. They looked so cute on the models, on the pictures. And then I got the clothing, and granted to say it was a couple days before my cycle. I was extremely bloated, and everything I put on, I felt terrible in. I hated my body the way that it looked. I'll be honest, I am 4'11". I am 115 pounds. I am not overweight. But the bloating in my stomach just really gets to me. And I made a commitment that this year, when I turn 35, I'm going to figure out this whole bloating thing. I did commit to it last summer. I did no gluten, no dairy for a while. My bloating went down a little bit, but I think I need to cut out any processed sugar too. So no sweets. And I just need to commit to it fully to completely figure this out and get some good probiotics and prebiotics. So anyways, I tried on a bunch of cute summer dresses and a bunch of clothes, and nothing fit well. I think most things would look pretty cute on me if I had a flat tummy and things look good, but I didn't. And I felt really mad at my body at that time. I felt really frustrated that I have a bloated stomach. And it got me feeling mad at myself, and mad to the point where I want to do something about it. You know, sometimes you feel mad and you're not taking action on it, but I felt mad and I decided, you know what? I don't like the way that my body looks, and I can do something about it. Part of it is trying to figure out this bloating thing and actually truly committing to not eating gluten and dairy and sweet things with processed sugar. Like actually committing to it and sticking to it. That's going to help me. And the other thing is my muscles need to get stronger. I'm not fat. I just need to strengthen my muscles. I really don't have fat on my belly. It's just stretched out skin and weak muscle. And so the feeling of mad, feeling frustrated with my body was enough to motivate me to make some changes. So starting this week, I told my husband I need to go to bed a little bit earlier so I can get up earlier and have my workout in the morning before the kids get up. Because I know that if I don't get it done then, it's really hard for me to get it later in the day. Something always comes up and gets in the way, and I prioritize something else over it. And if I get it done first thing in the morning, I feel so accomplished and I feel so good about myself. Which means I need to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. Crazy. I know this is insane. I did that for a season in my life around COVID time, and it worked out really well. I just need to go to bed around 9:30 p.m. And so It's possible because our kids do go to bed at a reasonable hour because they have school the next morning, and my husband is a night owl, which means that he can be the one that could be dealing with the kids after 9 p.m. if they're coming out and needing something. And so I asked for his support. I said, hey, would it be possible for you to take over with the kids after 9 o'clock so then I could go to bed at 9:30 most nights and get up at 4:30 so I can have a workout in the morning? And he said yes, which is, I'm thankful for that. Usually we just tag team. And so I'm thankful that he's able to do that because he's staying up anyways. Might as well have him take over, right? And so I am committing to working out 5 days a week. I am committing to eating gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free items. And sugar-free, I mean like processed sugar, anything that has like candy and just processed treats. Because I would have that once in a while, not like regularly, but when it's there, I would have a little bit of it. And I want to shift my mindset and perspective around it that I'm doing this to support myself. I don't have to do this. I'm choosing to do this because I feel better when I do that. And feeling mad at the way that my body looks is motivating enough. I hate the way that it looks because I know that I can do something about it. And it's leading me to actually take action on it. Not in a way that I hate my body and I'm disgusted by it and I want to hate myself for it, but in a way that I am feeling frustrated about the way things are, and that is leading me to take action and do something different. So that's what I'm committing to. Moving forward, exercising 5 days a week, consistently, and eating clean because I feel better when I do. Like energy levels, and I feel more confident, and my clothes feel better, and I want to feel better because when I feel better physically, I'm also feeling better emotionally and mentally. And so I'm committing to that moving forward. If you want to keep me accountable, I would love for you to do that. Just reach out to me and we'll find a way to connect. My friend, this month and moving forward, I am taking things slow and steady. Things are slower in my business than I anticipated, which is fine and good. God has me there for a reason. I am intentionally take things slow in my life. I want to have more white space in my days. I want to have more time to decompress. I want to have margin in my days. And I hate rushing. I hate rushing and going. It really stresses me out. And I'm thinking about it. How can I take things slow? And I feel like God is this year. You know how people say the word of the year? I didn't have one at the beginning of the year, but something that just keeps coming up to me is slow. Just slow down. Be present. Enjoy where I'm at right now. Be grateful for what I do have right now in this season of life. And just be slow and steady. Move in the right direction. Same thing with, like, let's say working out. Like, I'm working out. The progress is slow. The changes happen slowly. When you're working on your mindset, it's a slow journey. It's not an overnight thing. When you're working on your emotional wellness, all these things, spiritual wellness, it's not an overnight thing. Slow and steady and moving in the right direction and making progress in the right direction. And so that's what I'm doing. I like to take things slower now and just trying my best to shift my perspective and mindset to be content to where I am right now and just be grateful for what God does have for me. And so this is what I wanted to share with you in March. Nothing super crazy and exciting besides the alligator and going through sentimentals, my dog getting neutered, spring break with no screens, kids getting motorcycles, and my bloating issues and feeling bad. That is leading me to making changes. So that's where I'm at right now. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. I will link in the show notes a pair of shorts, a workout shorts that I did get through Amazon that I actually really like. So I'm going to link those in the show notes. I really like how they feel. and how they look like and how they fit on my body, and hopefully they last a long time. So I will link those in the show notes for you, that if you want to get into working out, I would recommend these shorts. My friend, thanks for being here. I am so glad that you're here. Again, if you want to take 60 seconds and thank me for this podcast, please leave me a positive rating and review, a 5-star rating and review, and take a screenshot of it, send it over to me, and I will give you a coupon code for my mini course, How to 10x Your Emotional Capacity Levels as a Mom. Thanks for being here again. Until next time.
Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.